All right, so now we're gonna talk about a few other movies. Well, two movies, I should say, that are showing in theaters right now. One of which, like I said at the beginning of this podcast here, came out roughly a month ago. Well, actually 2 weeks or so ago, October 13th, Friday, October 13th to be precise, in the States. And
Right.
we are now getting this movie because we suck. And what's so funny about this is that we get Jigsaw around the time of Halloween, which is around the time the Saw movies come out. I haven't heard much about that movie anyway. I kind of don't
Right.
really care to see it because I just tuned out of Saw since the fifth one. I
Yeah,
know.
pretty much.
I should have
I lock
stopped.
off.
I should have stopped that tree. I should have stopped that tree. I know. But I was like,
Yeah.
all right, I want to see where this thing going. But then I started to like, oh, well, you know that guy who was set up at that moment where that guy got captured, or the one who was behind the camera when that guy was in that torture thing. Yeah, he's a new apprentice now, and I was like, no, stop right there. You're running out of fumes. Stop this franchise. But anyway, we're not talking about that now. Now we're going to talk about, at long last, Happy Death Day, which is another film. Well, actually, I think it's like the third film this year to come out of Blumhouse Productions.
Right.
And Blumhouse Productions are on a roll this year, boy. My
Yeah.
goodness. First off, with the success of Get Out for one thing, and also Split in terms of these horror thriller films. Now, I mean, I know they've done other films of different genres as well. Like, for example, they did Slight, which I actually reviewed in a previous podcast. But yeah, those two particular horror quote unquote movies were big box office hits. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I love about the Blumhouse formula is that yes, they are taking a gamble with these stories, with these ideas, with these
Right.
scripts, and
Well,
it's
I
not
mean,
like it's not like they're
I mean,
dumbing down
it's
themselves by giving themselves a ridiculously low budget,
yeah.
but they do have a reasonable enough budget. They make the
Right.
use of it,
Yeah.
and yeah, they make money. What
Yeah. No, in
Blumhouse?
terms of the risk thing, it's not that big of a risk because yeah, they say look 5 million and they ain't crossing more than that.
Yeah, but what I like also too is what I mean risk is that they had to make sure, especially where they are right now, with their successful level, that the stories had to work. They're not gonna take a gamble with no garbage script that was, you know,
Right.
was it some script doctor you know draw for like 2 months or whatever it is. They're gonna make sure that the stuff that they put out are of a great quality. You know what I mean? And I was surprised to get that here with Happy Death Day.
Yeah.
Now, right off the bat, before I forget, I wasn't that wowed by the first trailer fit. Reason being is because of the song that they use, right? So I'll just jump into the story one time.
Right.
It's centered on the character of Teresa. Her nickname is Tree. She's played by Jessica Roth, Rothe. I believe that's how you pronounce her name.
Yeah.
The last time I saw her was in La La Land. She had this supporting role as one of, I believe it was one of Emma Stone's friends
Right.
in
Right.
that
In the
one particular
apartment. Yeah.
sequence. Yeah, that apartment sequence, right. So she is this sorority girl, and right off the bat, they establish that she's kind of a stuck-up bitch as well too.
Right.
She's very mean to people that she doesn't like, or she's that friendly with and whatnot. And of course, she's part of this sorority group, and they are equally mean as well, as you'd expect from those high school. Yes, it's set at a high school, of course, right? And her birthday, well, actually, she wakes up on her birthday, which is Monday, September 18th. The
Right.
night before, she was drunk. She went to this party, and she wakes up in this guy's dorm room. This random guy that she never saw before, and this guy's name is Carter Davis, who's
Right.
played by Israel Brosad, I believe that's how you pronounce his name.
Okay.
Yeah, and of course, she's like, what am I doing here? And he's all like cool about it because he has a little crush on her, right? So he's like, well, you were drunk as hell and I brought you back. I didn't do anything. It's okay. Nothing happened. And she's like, ugh, whatever. And moves on, right? And we see her day play out the way how it is. Um, it is her birthday, but she doesn't really take it that seriously. And later on in the film, we understand why. But on the night of her birthday, as she's going back to her dorm room, all right, so in this particular college or high school, or sorry, college, what am I saying? Um, there's this particular mascot, and the mascot has this kind of cute baby face, right? With these two teeth, two baby teeth sticking out and whatnot.
Right.
So she runs into like this one particular guy who is dressed in a hoodie and whatnot, black clothes and that mascot. So like there's literally these mascot masks on sale, and this one particular guy has this mascot, and he follows her, stalks her, and then eventually stabs her to death. So
Okay.
when she does die, she wakes back up at the same, morning of September
Right.
18th.
Okay.
She's always
That's
been,
all right.
she's
So
always,
it's a
yeah, she's
Groundhog Day
it's a
something.
Groundhog Day scenario. So
Okay.
the her phone always goes off, and it's this really annoying "It's your birthday, it's your birthday" ringtone, and she's like, "Well, wait now." And of course, as you would expect from a film of this premise, she learns that yes, she is stuck in this infinite time loop. Every
Right.
time this killer runs into her, and yes, the killer does run into her every time and kills her, and it's not in the way that you'd expect it. It does happen in different ways. Some of them comical, but overall really dark. She always wakes back up in that same dorm room, Carter's dorm room. So eventually she realizes, well, look, I have to do something about this. I can't be stuck in this loop forever where everybody else is just like, what's going on with you? You're going crazy. And yeah, that's all I have to say about that show. So you're right off the bat there. Yes, this is Groundhog Day, but in a slasher style. Now, back to that trailer. So
Right.
when I got the gist of that trailer, I was like, okay, you're doing Groundhog Day, but it's like Groundhog Day meets Scream. You have
Right.
this, mysterious killer, this kind of weird mask on. It's not the Ghostface killer from Scream, but this babyface character. Okay, all right. But the one thing that turned me off from the movie, or at least from the trailer, believe it or not, was the use of 50 cents in the club,
Okay.
because they used it as the ringtone. So as she wakes up, you hear the bum, bum, chick,
Right.
right. And then, as with typical trailers these days, when they use a famous song, especially when it comes to like thrillers, you always have to like take one particular line or a particular hook or whatever and
Right.
kind of um, single it out from the rest of the song and then make it echo and slow it down and add
Yeah,
a
yeah,
bunch
they're
of
doing that
effects in.
bullshit now. Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like,
A lot of films doing that.
yeah, so like recently was said with the New
Yeah.
Mutants where they took Pink Floyd's Another Brick in the Wall Part 2 and they isolated and make it more ominous. So in
Right.
this case is like 50 Cent song and it's like, go shorty,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Stupid.
it's your birthday.
Yeah, everything the slow down thing. Transformers do
Go
that.
shorty. Yeah. And I'm
Yeah.
hearing this
The,
and I'm
the
like,
slow down pop song.
yeah, what? Now, no disrespect to 50. I know 50 doing this thing. I know you have a show on BT right now called 50
Right.
Central. Is this kind of variety show? I know he does pranks and stuff like that. I mean, the man making the money. I know he can't sell records the way how he used to back in 2003. He doing all these little side hustles and all that, but the man still making money. So respect him, right? But at that moment, I was asking myself, like, did it come to you? Did Blumhouse come to you personally, or Universal? I forgot. They are involved in this too. Did it
Right.
come to you personally and ask you for use of this song? And were you like, yeah, cool, use it, man? I mean, it was a big hit back in 2003. People love it. I guess it still plays in bar mitzvahs and clubs and whatnot. I guess. I don't know. It's so long. It's so old. I know we old. But I don't know. Just the use of that song, a rap song in the trailer of a horror movie really
Yeah.
threw me off now. I was like, this is not working at all. So yes, instantly I just kind of tuned out of it. I didn't care to see it, but you know what? I did get some great reviews, and I really wanted to see it on that Friday 13 weekend, but unfortunately I had to wait longer. So I took
Yeah.
it in, and believe it or not, I was genuinely surprised by this.
Okay. You liked it then?
This may honestly be. I know there's a couple other movies coming up that I haven't seen, but this may be one of my guilty pleasures for 2017.
Okay, okay. But that brilliant, huh?
It's not brilliant, and this is what I love about it. It's not brilliant. It's not going out of its way to be like the groundbreaking slasher movie of the decade. It knows what it is. It knows how ridiculous its premise is, and it just goes in straight towards it. And what I
Right.
love also too is that it does not take itself seriously. Something that may piss some, diehard slasher fans or horror fans as a whole. Because for one thing, this movie is rated PG-13, which is seen a lot coming from Blumhouse. But then again, Split was rated PG-13, right? And look how great that turned out. But for
Right.
something like this, a slasher movie, right? Now, instantly, when you hear slasher, you're thinking, you know, teens, especially women, especially females, sorry, getting stabbed to death by preferably a male serial killer. That
Right.
doesn't read as a PG-13 to me. This reads as a light R at least, not even a hard R, but a light R. You know what I mean?
Right.
But this one here, it works. It actually works. It's not as bloody as they expect it to. And that's another thing that may piss a lot of people off. You know, they will go in expecting a lot of blood and thing, but it's generally bloodless, to be honest. I mean, people
Right.
do die. We do see Tree's character get killed, but it's more played off for like dark comedy than anything else. And the
Right.
ways how she dies though are incredibly funny. I was laughing through a majority of them. And it was he says like, "Hi, you real stupid, look how you're dead." It's just like how unexpected it was. And this is another thing that I really loved about this movie here. Is that you're thinking, oh well, it's just she just run into this guy that one night and she's gonna run and then she's gonna fall, she high heel fall or whatever, and then she get killed and it looks stupid.
Right.
No, they do come up with these ingenious ways of killing her, and not just her, but other people as well. You know what I mean? And I love how the film really throws you off a lot. You know, you're thinking, oh, it's gonna go this way. Oh, well, he's the killer. She's the killer. No, it may go off this other way. It's like not exactly, and then something happens, and then you're laughing at how you got set up now. You know what I mean? And the
Yeah.
movie does that. It just keeps setting you up and just more or less making you expect one thing but giving you something totally different. And I love how the film really subverts that whole slasher genre. It's not what you'd expect it to be. Um, Another thing that made it work though was Jessica Roth. I thought that she was a standout performer in this movie. I thought she was brilliant in this. You do buy into her being this bitch basically, but what I like though is how her character gradually changes as she learns and understands what's going on. She becomes less bitchy. She becomes more helpful and more not lovable. I'm not saying that she becomes this lovey-dovey person at the end of it, but she becomes more understandable, and she's not that stuck up at the end. And seeing that character growth was really amazing as well. And apart from all that, though, she does have a lot of acting range. She does do scared, she does do bitchy, she does do concerned, she does do a lot of different layers to her character and her performance as well. And there were tons of great moments with her on screen. I even like the little romance that they do that does develop between her and Israel's character Carter. I thought that was really nice. It was sweet. It was genuine, not too sappy, and it doesn't take up a majority of time in the story. It's kind of weird at first, where suddenly he's buying into the fact that yes, she's in this infinite time loop, and he kind of buys into it all of a sudden. But what I love about his character, how they set it up from the beginning, is that in his dorm room you see all these posters of movies. So there's like Ghostbusters, there's Repo Man, and props to the production designer for actually deciding to put up that really iconic poster of Repo Man. And rest in peace to Harry Dean Stanton, who started that movie
Right.
as well.
Okay. Yeah.
So he's a guy who loves his movies as well. He's a movie buff, right? Just like me. So I love that. I connected with him. Um, and I did buy into the fact that yeah, eventually, if after all these instances of Tree waking up and experiencing her own death, she's eventually gonna stop and tell Carter, "Hey, this is what's going on. I need your help." And he bought into it. So like, okay, cool. I bought into it. You know what I mean? The side characters I thought were great as well. That there's this one particular girl who plays the head of the sorority group. I thought that she was great as well. She was that right kind of snotty upper class character. I thought that she played it well. She reminds me. She actually looks a lot like Lana Luthor
Lena
from
Luthor.
Supergirl. Yeah,
Lena
and
Luthor, yeah.
Lena Luthor, sorry, and
Yeah.
both of them actually look really attractive, but I
Right.
find that they do look eerily similar. Though I'm not, and at the point I was asking myself, wait, that's the same lady, but then I learned, well, I actually realized no, she's actually way younger than the actress from Supergirl. But anyway,
Right. Right.
the killer as well. I mean, there's nothing spectacular about the character. It's not like he calls you up and says, "Do you like scary movies?" Which was the one main thing that really made the Ghostface Killer stand out from the pack from with in terms of horror films now. But this
Right.
one is kind of generic, and I think this is like one of the drawbacks. It is that he is not that memorable of a villain, but just the way how they used this character was pretty creative, but I just felt that there could have been more to him than just this guy with a this baby face mask on. And then when you do learn who the character is, it's kind of like, oh well, all right, they kind of could have do a little bit more with it though, but you know what I mean.
Right.
Budget and time, and this is another thing I like too. The runtime is pretty short. It's an hour and 35 minutes, and
Okay.
I wouldn't say it flies through. It flies by really quickly, but it does do a lot with its time. It doesn't. There's little to no moment where I felt the movie was dragging or slowing down. Even in its dramatic moments as well, I felt that everything played out the way it was supposed to. Whether it's a dramatic scene or a scary scene or even a comedic scene, and there are
Right.
lots of comedic scenes in this as well too. So, and this is something that caught me off guard because I was expecting more horror, less comedy, but to me there was more. There was like uh, not so much an even balance, but it's like slightly more comedy than horror, but it didn't affect me. But there there are tense moments. They are tense, not too tense as all that, but it works in terms of the genre. And there are some moments, some holy shit moments. There are some in terms of the scares there, which will make you laugh as well. But yeah, I imagine a lot of people enjoying this though. One thing though, and I know this may throw people off, just the first 10 or 15 minutes as well may play off like some sort of corny, not so much corny, but just like unbearable to watch just because of how these characters act. Like the first 50 minutes at all kind of play off like that.
Right.
But I knew just once I got into the story, I got the fact that the movie wasn't taking itself seriously. So yes, it does kind of play off like from that first 50 minutes, it does kind of play off like one of those kind of annoying teen comedies from like the 2000s. Like remember not
Right.
another teen movie which parodied
Right.
those
Right.
movies. Like it may play off like that, especially with the dialogue and how it's delivered. But once I got into it and I realized the movie wasn't taking itself seriously, I just had a blast though. So
Right.
don't let the first 50 minutes turn you off completely. Don't go into this thinking that, oh, well, this is just a badly made or badly acted movie.
Right.
They're not taking themselves seriously. This is more of a parody of those. This is more of a parody of like Scream than anything else.
Okay.
In a way. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it does do something very clever in terms of the Groundhog Day aesthetic. I like that, even how it works or why it works. I thought was rather creative as well, and even right down to the kills, or I should say like how Tree's days end when before she wakes back up. I thought
Right.
were
Right.
done
Right.
very well. They really throw you off as well. It's not as predictable as you would expect it to be, and that's really what
Right.
surprised me. But yeah, man, I really enjoyed this. I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did, but yeah,
Right.
I had a blast with this one, man. So
Okay. Good to hear.
like I say, at the moment, this is probably my category of guilty pleasure of the year. But I know
Right.
there's some other like wild, mindless, leave your brain at the door movies to see within the next month or so that may take that spot. But for now, yeah, this is probably one of my favorite guilty pleasures of 2017.
Yeah.
Just
Right.
one
Right.
that you don't take seriously. You go in, you have fun, and that's it. You're just having fun of a girl getting killed and basically time just starting back again for to figure out
Right.
what to do.
Right.
Once you get past that premise, then yeah, you'll have a blast. So for me, I would give this light 4 out of 5 stars. And I'm seeing this
Nice.
in terms of just guilty pleasure. This is not like this award-winning masterpiece or whatever like that. It is what
Right.
it is. It knows what it is, and it's so self-aware that I sorry is unless you generally hate horror movies or you hate college comedies or whatever, you just don't care, then this is not the movie for you. But if you go into this knowing what to expect and you just don't buy into anything and you just have you just go in and have fun, then yeah, you're gonna be pleasantly surprised by Happy Death Day.
Okay. Cool.
All right. So also in theaters is a movie that I didn't even know about till last week. I haven't even
Right.
seen any trailers for it. The poster looked kind of cool because I mean it's Matt Damon and all, but
Right.
this is the latest film from George Clooney
Yeah.
called Suburbicon.
Right.
So how
Right.
was Suburbicon?
Not bad, but again, half beat somewhat. It had roughly the same problem I talked about earlier with the snowman, but not as extreme.
Okay, so it
More,
actually has a story.
yeah,
Beginning,
no, it
middle,
have a
and end.
full arc and everything. Which just with this now, it's more in the it's just is a script that could have used a little bit of punching up, and then in terms of the filmmaking and storytelling, it could have used a better hand behind it. If I want to see, when I was watching it, I didn't know this going into the film, but when I was watching it, I was like, yeah, that's totally feeling like a Coen Brothers script. And yeah, when you saw in the credits, yeah, Joel and Ethan Coen have the writing credit for it.
Okay.
I would argue that they should have directed it, but whatever. Um, it's basically, so what it is Suburbicon is this suburb. I'm not sure where exactly the city was. It was unclear to me where they were exactly. But they were making they were talking about how white people from everywhere in this suburb, and
Right.
then this place called Suburbicon, which is this well advertised suburb, and then a black family moves
Right.
in the suburbs. So it's the 1950s. Everything is the early 50s or late 50s. I'm not sure because everything was done in the context of integration.
Okay,
Racial
so
integration.
now I see where George Clooney's and the Coen brothers' names come from, because I know George Clooney loved these
Right.
period films,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so the story but that's the thing. It's all of that is just in the subtext and the overall context of what's going on. So Julianne Moore, apparently, I think she played 2 roles in this because
Okay.
it was unclear to me. But I was like, wait, that other person looked like Julianne Moore too, no? And like,
Okay.
how about another actress? How about another actor? But I think she played 2 roles. So Julianne Moore is playing the main character's mom
Right.
and the main character's aunt. Apparently, it wasn't clear to me if they were yeah, right. I'm watching. Just going through IMDb right now. She played
Yeah,
both
do your
roles.
thing, do your thing.
She played both Rose and Margaret, and Rose is the mom, and Margaret is the sister. But I'm not too sure if they were it's unclear to me if they were both twin sisters in the story. But I don't think so. They were just playing sisters.
Okay.
Basically, what it was is the whole thing is in the context of prejudice in the suburb because this black family moving.
Right.
But that is not the plot. The main plot is focused on and around the main character's mother. The story starts where they get robbed. Where the story going on and the black family moving, they complaining about this black family moving, but not them. The mother decides to tell the son to go play baseball and introduce him to the local baseball situation in the Suburbicon in the suburb, right?
Right.
Town. It's a town essentially. And then that night some 2 gangsters come in and rob them. But
Okay.
what happened is that they rob them. I don't know if they take much cash, but they take a little bit of cash, I think. And then what happened is that the mother is killed because
Really?
right, the mother is killed, and you learn she get killed because she apparently they used the chloroform on her too much.
Wow. That is
Right,
very Coen brothers, though.
Right.
Yeah.
So all of them get knocked out with chloroform, but apparently they use the chloroform too much on the mother, so she's killed. But to establish from before, the mother was in a wheelchair because she get in a car accident because of the husband by Matt Damon. Because of Matt Damon, she get in a car accident,
Right.
and she's paralyzed from the waist down. Right, and then now the mother is killed. She dies. Complications in the hospital. Everybody else is fine, but she dies. And then life going on. And then what happens is that they had a police lineup. And in the police lineup to figure out what's going on, who killed the mom. Matt Damon and the aunt is staying with them for a while, who's also played by Julianne Moore. She now, I'm going through the plot quick, but the son now recognized the two criminals.
Right.
Totally recognized them. But the father say he didn't recognize them. So you're wondering, wait now, what's going on? Why the father would lie about something like that?
Right.
So then you realize there was a little murder mystery involving the father.
Ah.
Right. he kind of cover up, and then you learn. So just a kind of, well, I don't want to give away the plot necessarily, but basically it's like a insurance fraud scam involving the. That is basically what's going on.
Okay.
So Oscar Isaac is an insurance, like a delegator now. He's a person who's detect bullshit when bullshit going on fraud. He basically pick up shenanigans going down.
Right.
And all of this is in the context of the violence happening to the black people, because it have this like growing crowd of white people in and around the house, and basically everything is distracted because of that. So you have this little murder plot going on, but all the attention is because of the racial thing towards this black family in this small town.
Right.
And that is basically the entire story. Don't want to idea not spoil it. It's a marginally funny movie. Marginally. It's kind of funny. It's kind of okay. It's okay direction, but because everything is so half-baked overall, a lot of it didn't work. George Clooney, he's an okay director, but he's not a great director.
I think you should know that by now, though. I mean,
Right. And, you know, but the thing is, didn't he do this movie? And I really liked it. Shit. He did, I think he did. Didn't he do Good Night and Good Luck?
Yes, he did.
He directed that, right?
He did. Yeah. I think that was one of his first
sure.
movies. Well, I think that was the one that pretty much
He directed
people was
that,
like,
or who directed Good Night and Good
I
Luck?
think he starred and directed in that. I specifically.
Right, but
yeah.
I thought that was pretty good.
I haven't seen it, but I
Right.
love the trailer for it.
He did a couple things like he did a couple other things like that I generally liked. He did Ides a March as well,
which I haven't seen. Yeah,
which I
With-
liked.
with
I remember
Ryan
liking
Gosling,
that.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty awesome as well. But again, you know, you think a better director should have handled this. So like I don't know if George Clooney can do humor, he can do comedy, because it's a comedy, it's a dark comedy.
Yeah, I was picking up on that. When you
right,
say Coens, I was like, yeah, well.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it was too, like, watching it, it felt like a Coen script, but it felt like a cargo called Coen script being done now. As I say, it's just not, you know, what make Coen work is the Coen's work. Why make what this movie so good is because it's just the level of filmmaking and conscientiousness goes in the filmmaking.
Exactly. Yeah.
And like they took a backseat for this. It's their script. They have a writing credit for the script, but this could have been fleshed out better acting. The blocking could have been better overall. It's not bad, not bad, but not on the level of a Coen script. You know, Coen brothers script on average tend to be even the last movie with the Hollywood stuff. Even that I thought was really well done. Just didn't shell out so well as a narrative.
Right.
That was what do you call it?
That was Hail Caesar.
Hail Caesar, yeah, with Josh Brolin, right? And so it was just underwhelming. It's good, but underwhelming. You know, it should have been better. I suppose but the thing is, I couldn't help but think of it being a Coen Brothers script, and if it wasn't a Coen Brothers script, I might have come down on this a little easier. But because it has so many good material in it, and I get the feeling that they just didn't have the power to, you know, hold back now.
Yeah.
So they had to take a back seat, and, you know, and just not enough resources and time. And while the blocking of it worked, the structure of the story was okay, not bad. It's quite funny. The ending is really, really funny and really dark, but really funny. Because what happened to Matt Damon's character, but
Okay.
a lot of it works. I didn't really care for some of the characterization. It's like that was a little too dark for my own liking. Like a lot of that just didn't make sense. It's like, wow, this character will go this far for this. But still, whatever, it's fine. Rating, I'll give it a high, low movie tongue, I should say.
All right, that's
Low
fair, I guess.
Right. Yeah, low movie tongue. It's not particularly brilliant or anything like that. Nothing to really write home about. But yeah, give it a lowish movie tongue. Julianne Moore is perfectly psychotic in this. Well, at least the Margaret character, not the Rose character.
Okay.
And
who does like a psychotic Julianne Moore?
Right.
Even though she was a little kind of hammy in that Kingsman movie, but well.
No, yeah, she was real hammy in this too.
Yeah.
Pretty hammy, but
really?
a lot of it worked and it was funny. And just go in, you don't have to drink a beer or nothing. I went in with a full stomach. You know, I was enjoying myself, and by the way, I was the only person in the fucking theater.
Wow.
Which was really goddamn sad. So yeah, that was brutal. That was real brutal.
That's real brutal.
Like, yeah, usually when I go in, I might see a little face in a corner, nothing, nobody.
Yeah.
As the only person in the screen. I was like, jeez,
I don't know, boy. Like I say, I haven't seen any trailers for it. I know
nothing
about it. I don't
just
even think anybody's going to know about it.
Yeah, it's gonna slip under the radar and just disappear.
Yeah, of course. Down here, I wouldn't be surprised if it just shows for, well, it came out last week, so I just imagine
done.
for a few more
That's
days
the
and then
usually-
poof, by.
I expected it to disappear by Tuesday. So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, so that's about it.
Wait, people will be like, wait, that actually showed down here? You know,
Yeah,
people wouldn't even know.
Because like pretty much every Wes Anderson movie that is the case as well.
Yeah, boy.
Like, just come and go real fast if you don't stick with it.
Yeah, just trying to find that right audience down here, but it's just crazy.
Yeah, no, they're too small.
Yeah.
So I'm still glad I saw it. I had a considerable amount of fun with it. It wasn't bad, but yeah, generally kind of forgettable. Decent enough Coen Brothers script. It's funny. It does the racial context and subtext quite well, and they both the overtones and undertones of racialism and racism works for the context of the story, because the idea of not having proper moral focus, that's kind of the problem.
Right.
And how to see people just see their moral compasses just totally out of whack because of bullshit. That's kind of the general message. And so it have a slightly prescient political context in today's world, and it works. It's a movie I'd probably enjoy a lot more if it came out like 10 to 15 years ago, back when Good Night and Good Luck came out. So I don't know.
What I'm getting here, though, just to close this section off, is that, all right, who is the audience for this exactly? It can't just be for people who like George Clooney movies and who likes everything with Matt Damon. It's like they're trying to figure out who the audience is, and it wasn't sure to just put it out, and just kind of fizzle out.
Yeah, it's for the Coen Brothers crowd. It's a liberal Coen Brothers crowd who want a nice dark comedy. It's for that, but it's not a well done Coen Brothers story. Again, they should have had better hands behind this.
Right.
To make it work from the editing better, make it flow a little better, have the acting blocking a little better. A lot of it just didn't work. You could tell not the best filmmakers who were behind this. And just me kind of commenting on George Clooney's direction, because I actually really remember really liking Good Night and Good Luck. So I don't know what happened there. I get it, but I suppose my memory. I suppose I'll look back at it, and my memory probably not serving me as well. But I remember really enjoying that movie and thought it flowed really well and was really goddamn awesome.
Right.
But this was like, a lot of it just fell flat, and a lot of it didn't work. The character who played Karamia Westbrook, she played Mrs. Myers. She was the black wife, and she has a really kind of really dark and sad scene in a grocery. I don't want to spoil it for you, but she was actually pretty good. She has a really good screen presence. So I hope she does greater stuff in the future. But she has a great look and great screen presence, and I thought she was pretty damn awesome in this as well. So I want to see her in other stuff. Cause I know in a couple of TV shows like Shameless and things, but I never really get into her.
Right.
So I really hope she blow up and do better. She was in Masters of Sex. That was the like last show I remember.
Oh, I still haven't watched that show yet.
Yeah, it's kind of skippable, but it's alright.
Yeah.
She like have a great screen presence. She not sexy, but she still workably attractive, so she could play kind of generally anything.
Yeah.
And she works. She decent. I want to see her in more material.
Okay, cool. Right. And to close things off, guys, we're gonna talk about a movie that I wasn't like excited for, but I was wondering, are we gonna get to see this down here? And we kind of didn't, so we had to use the internet route again to see this.
Yeah.
Of course, we're talking about.
But I got a quote for this one.
Okay. You did. All right.
A while now, so it's like I didn't have to pirate it or anything like that.
Right.
Again, as I say, we on the edge of the letter of the law on this one. I really hate that. I really hate that. I really, really don't want to pirate anything on. This is like a movie that I don't give a fuck about and I hate.
Like Transformers.
Well, I didn't pirate that. I actually get a code for that.
Oh, okay. Right.
But that was like one of the easier codes because it's such a popular movie. But this one, like the codes on them now come out now, so like very cool.
Right. In this film in particular, we are talking about Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets.
Yeah. This was John Carter all over again for me.
Perfect reference on the news right here.
Yeah.
So I'll just well, right. You just do the intro. I just want to talk about what it's about, but continue.
Yeah. Right. The intro to this was pretty fucking awesome.
Yes,
that montage
it was.
Right. So you learn where the origin of the Valerian, the city of 1,000 planets comes from.
Yeah. This is Alpha actually. That's the name of this big gigantic space station.
Right.
But
It's collage.
Houses, different countries.
And it starts off on Earth. And what it was is like basically the ISS. If the ISS go on to become amazing,
Yeah.
And what it was is that all of these nations of Earth independently find themselves up in space. And so you get to see them meeting, and then when they meet all humans, come together, aliens started meeting us, and they started meeting all the aliens throughout time, and then the space station get too big. Apparently, there's going to be a threat to Earth itself if it fall. So they decided to leave Earth's orbit.
Yeah.
And well, they decided to travel the stars one time, so like, all right, cool, whatever, which don't really make sense, but whatever.
I know, but I think in the stories events, it's about the just the security of the people involved. You know what I mean?
Right.
I guess, but that sequence though alone, I totally agree with you. It's just so simple, but just so powerful, so effective. Like in my head when I was watching this, I said to myself, but yeah, this is the future though. I would love to see this play out. I mean, you could talk about the existence of aliens and all that kind of stuff, but I would love to see this be a reality though. Like,
totally working that sense. I mean, I just love the whole everybody shaking hands, and you really get a sense of international.
It's so hopeful, man. You know?
I
love
totally make it work. Excellent editing. It paced itself so well, and then the movie actually starts proper.
Yeah, and just that one intro though, which I won't spoil. Well, right after the intro that we just mentioned, you get something similar to Avatar. Like I was watching this, I was like, this is Avatar all over again, which is not a bad thing because I actually love Avatar, but I'm actually one of the few who loves Avatar.
So it's again much like John Carter. John Carter is an old comic from the 60s, I think, old sci-fi.
It's French, I believe it was, and
old French.
Although I don't know if this is true, maybe you could back me up on this. It inspired Star Wars and other.
It's those because
space operas, I guess.
A little bit. It was kind of one of the early kind of proto space opera type things that could, it's one of those that could have easily been a movie a long time ago, like 40 years ago, 50 years ago, even maybe.
Yeah. I don't know. When it comes to like French sci-fi comics, I just keep thinking heavy metal as being like the influential one. So
that was
I never heard of Valerian, to be
stuff.
honest.
Like I always think of like the modern incarnation of Noe, for example, or stuff like that. No?
Yeah. And as I mentioned, heavy metal. Just a little side note. The Fifth Element, which was Luc Besson's first foray into sci-fi back in 1997.
Yeah.
Now is a cult classic for good reason as well, which I'll get into later. Was inspired partly by a particular issue of heavy metal, which was adapted to film in the cult classic and one of my all-time favorite cult classics, Heavy Metal, which came out in 1981.
Right.
Yeah, that's where the whole flying cars and the whole futuristic societies do this. So they had that set up. And I think it did inspire Blade Runner as well too.
Here's the thing with Fifth Element. Fifth Element for me, I remember at the time watching it, I kind of didn't like the idea of, well, nothing on Earth makes sense. This Earth don't seem plausible at all. Why would it be like this? McDonald's still around? That kind of shit.
You was thinking about it like that. I was.
And how the world was so zany. Like I didn't believe that.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Like what? Right. Like I didn't see when it came out theatrically. I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe it was either Men in Black or Fifth Element. It was one of those two. It was like the summer. I had to pick a sci-fi movie and I picked Men in Black, right? I remember. And also because not just because Will Smith was in it, but I mean I always loved Bruce Willis as an action star, but I don't know. It's just how weird Fifth Element felt to me. That was the turn off to me. How weird it was. In
retrospect now, to me, a lot of the projection of that movie make perfect fucking sense. Anybody ever see the fucking internet?
Yep.
That's my thing, is that because of the internet, you get to open up the amount of crazy that humanity has to offer. So yeah, when life gets cheaper and easier for almost everybody, and everybody not going to be living in poverty, you're still going to have that kind of weird strangeness of the world now. Yeah. Firstly, the level of production at the bottom of the city, which make perfect sense to me.
Right.
That was funny. But it's like, you're going to have these like real, like, because it's dystopic and utopic at the same time. But in a class structure way.
Right.
And that make real sense to me, because I never bought the extreme cyberpunk darkness of Blade Runner. I never bought that. To me, you're going to have some utopic something. It have a term for this, it's called heterotopic.
Yeah, like personally, I don't think the world will become like a will turn into a shit show I don't think the world will be like how Blade Runner is in the future. I don't think so.
What it is a kind of workable shit show. It's that it's still a shit show, but people get utterly distracted by all the noise and crazy. Like the Ruby Rod character make perfect sense.
Yeah.
Like that's totally somebody in the future. Again, have you seen the internet? You could see millions of people following a person like that now.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, we already have people like that. And then fucking that's 300 years in the future, or however long, or 300 or 250 years in the future. This is 20 years, and that shit done start already.
Yeah.
So that is a little like the movie does gain points in my head in retrospect.
Right.
For me.
Okay.
Anyway,
but for me though, just to finish up Fifth Element. But it was one of those shows for me that like I'm still not the biggest fan of it,
right.
but I've watched it actually watched it a few times, and it has grown on me. And I imagine because of how weird and unique it was back then, it may have thrown off a lot of people. So it may not have been as big as it could have been, but like I said, over the years, it has grown a cult following, and rightfully so.
I just love general, like, okay, Gary Oldman is pretty awesome.
Yes, of course, Gary Oldman can do no wrong in my eyes.
And then the gun that
you know what I mean?
That gun.
Who else? Bruce Willis, of course, and Mila Jovovich.
Yeah, Chris Tucker's Ruby Rod.
Yeah, that character though is so memorable for me. Right?
Yeah, but the thing is, here's what I liked about it. And one end, it looked great, like at the time, even now.
Yeah, definitely.
But at the same time, it still looked real fucking cheap in terms of set design. Like, remember the part where she dived through the wall? It's like, yeah, that is foil though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is straight up foil. Like, jeez, man, they could do this better though. But at the same time, I remember noticing that at the time in the theaters, like, yeah, that looked like foil though. What the hell?
Okay,
like, they got walls made of foil.
Right.
But then you had other scenes that like where is Zorg's office. Great set. Set. Like easily one of my favorite sets ever.
Right.
With this Jean-Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg, lol.
Yeah.
And then the big space opera singing scene. Awesome.
Yeah, which kind of freaked me out the first about when I saw the trailer. I was like, what the hell is this? But then when I saw it in its context, I was like, all right, this is kind of cool. I mean, it's the 90s, so everything was all over the top and wild anyway. I mean,
and I think and it just totally worked at the time. It was
so
like
90s, it's a
it's a very
90s movie.
Very colorful, but colorful in all the worst ways.
I know, right?
Right.
The hairstyles and all that kind of stuff.
But it's color be bad colors though.
Yeah.
It's a movie that totally holds up for me. I just love the mythos of it. You know, the evil orb thing that's coming to crash into Earth. The President of the United States. That make real sense. In retrospect, in 2017, because they have, like, in the future, I can handle it because, again, I was so accustomed to Star Trek's projection of things. Like, everyone will become more rational. And thing is like, nope, you're going to have crazier and crazier, more bullshitty presidents as time go on.
Yeah.
And 2017, hello guys, come on.
Exactly.
And so stuff like that. The priest trying to hold on to the past and understanding thing, but he himself get caught up in the bullshit. So he himself, like, still caught up in this world, but he's a priest.
Yeah.
That's a great, totally works.
Yeah. But the last thing I'll say about the show, and then we'll actually jump into Valerian, and I'll talk about that in Valerian, is what really stood out the most to me, why I think it holds up, is because of the unique non-American vision of the future that Luc Besson and his team provided. Like, there was lots of bits and pieces of it that came out from American sci-fi, or, you know, sci-fi movies that came on that were, you know, made in the States, like, say, Blade Runner, for example. But because of the colors and because of the aesthetic and just different stuff, it just felt unique. It was just something different. Like because Luc Besson is French, so it was like European version of this ultra modern future. That's what made it stand out to me.
Yeah,
it was so different. You know what I mean? Even for its time, it was just so unique. All right, so now we'll get to Valerian, right? I'll try my best to not spoil anything, but the plot of it, right? So after that awesome, brilliant, genius intro, we are treated to so we're introduced to this alien race, right? And we see how they live and whatnot. And then this threat comes from the skies, basically, literally like fire coming from the skies, real biblical like. And it's believed that their race has been totally wiped out. And we learn later on it's because of this human commander. He's actually played by Clive Owen, of all people who haven't seen in ages, right? Yeah. And he is part of the crew that pretty much runs Alpha, which we said before is this one big gigantic space station that houses a majority of just people from different races and nationalities and from different planets and whatnot, right?
Yeah. So
while all this is going on, we are then introduced to the characters of Valerian, who is played by Dean DeHaan. I know he was in A Cure for Wellness, That's
Right,
in my
which
to watch list.
well, yeah, and you cannot take a L again with this movie.
I knew he was gonna see that.
Yeah.
And Laureline, who is played by Cara Delevingne, I forget,
Right.
I believe that was pronounced name. Last time I saw her was
Right.
being
So
was in Suicide Squad, where she was just so unintentionally hilarious. It was
right.
just sad to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they are these special operatives, and their job is like they are the police basically. They call, they fight crime all across the universe, all that kind of stuff, right? So they're like special agents in a way, right? Um, and they're given this mission to do, and this is like one scene that stood out the most to me, where they have to go into this place called the Big Market. It's like this bazaar, sorry, but it's in virtual reality. So when people go to this place, it's like all desert, but then they have to put on these special shades, and then you see like
Right.
it's literally like this big gigantic market. So
Yeah.
both Valerian and Laureline have to do this job, but you're seeing it through both their perspectives of the virtual reality and the real life, and I thought that was like a great scene. But from there, where this mission leads to, it does involve the same race that is presumed dead or extinct.
Right.
And then they find themselves in Alpha, and then they learn that there's some force or some kind of drama going on within Alpha that could pretty much destroy Alpha itself. So they are sent in to investigate, and then eventually they learn that, yeah, the race itself, the race of aliens, are still alive, and it's this subplot involving them, and I'll stop right there. Now, all right, let me just say this right off the bat, though. Visually, this movie looks amazing. There are a lot of ideas in this movie, a lot of thematic ideas, a lot of
Yeah.
visual ideas, a lot of technological ideas. Case in point, the big market scene. Just that one sequence alone, though, just it has so much going on to it now. Whether it's the characters that are there, whether it's the aliens, whether it's the tech involved. There's even one cool chase scene where Valerian is just running through different areas. So it's like different sections of Alpha, and just basically you following this character. Even one scene where he goes through a pipe, different pipes, he falls, he's falling down, and then he has a particular gun that when he shoots it, it creates like these. Pretty much, he's creating a path for him to run on or to
Right,
walk
right.
on while he's falling, basically.
Yeah,
And I
right.
thought that was pretty cool as well. So, like I said, a lot of great ideas here. They have a wealth of material that they put into this movie. Unfortunately, though, it felt like there was just way too much going on. And then what makes it even worse is that there is a story, but the story just seems to be going all over the place. To me, it
Right.
felt like one of those. Remember those old before RPGs, right? Before that era, right? I don't know. Kids ask their parents. They were like books where at the end of each chapter they would tell you, okay, if you want this character to go to A,
Yeah. Turn to
go
page.
turn to this page. If you want to go,
Yeah.
yeah, it felt like that, where they have a mission, but before they do that, they have to do this side mission first. So they have to do this,
Right.
and they have to meet these weird creatures first, and they have to do this, and they have to go here, they have to go there. It's like, come on. And then all of that drama just to get to these aliens that were just hiding right underneath their nose. Like, why they couldn't just gone to that instead of all these little detours in the film, you know what I mean? And I felt that really took away from the film, because the movie is long. This is like 2 hours
Yeah,
and
that-
17
that's
minutes,
what-
and
that's-
there's
that's
moments
what-
they could have just
No,
taken
the length.
out.
I was about to bring that up. The length of the film really, really hurt this movie, Jared.
Yeah,
'Cause
there was
what
no
they should have
need
done
for
is
this
they
to
could
be
have cut
so
out. They could have trimmed
long.
real fat, Jared.
Yeah, there was no need for this movie to be so long. Another
Yeah.
thing too that threw me off, just from the moment they are introduced into this movie here, our leads, like, all right,
Yeah.
I'm not
Okay.
knocking down Dean, right? I haven't
Dean-
seen I haven't
yeah,
seen
the
him
thing
in,
with Dean, eh?
Cure, right? But okay, I'll stop. Go ahead.
No, no. In the case of Dean, again, he kind of just.
Oh,
I
Dean,
don't know.
sorry,
He had a
Dean,
fire
Dean,
agent
it's
because
Dean,
he getting some real shit pulls, but he acting good. Cause he was good in
A Cure for
Cure
Wellness,
for
right?
Wellness.
I
Then he
imagine that. I imagine that.
He was good. He was good. I thought he was great actually. It's just the edit was fucking shit. So
Right.
it undermined him now.
Right.
And it's the same thing for this. I thought he was alright in this. And he have a good look, but all I'll say is that I find he a little too young Leo. That's most problem.
He does have a young Leo look, like
Yeah, you need
like
to try
like
trying to do
Romeo
young-
and
trying
Juliet,
to- right.
1996.
Right.
Leo. That's what we talk about here. He does.
Right.
You're right. But yeah, not just him, but Kara as well, who plays
Right.
Laureline. Right. So I'll just say this, right? The way how they look on screen, like if you saw them for the first time, you would swear that they were brother and sister, right? But then
That's the
you
thing. It look a little
realize
weird.
that
Yeah.
no, they, well, Valerian is the one who like he's in love with her, right? She
Right.
knows that he's in love with her, but she kind of playing hard to get a little bit. He finds a little bit of a prick, you know. He's always rushing into things, yada yada yada, all that kind of stuff, right? They do
Right.
spend a lot of time arguing and bickering instead of actually, being in love, like that now. But when they're on screen, though, all right. So both actors try. I'll give them that. They really, really try. Especially
Right.
Dean. He tried, but I just could not buy into this guy being such. And the way how they introduce his character is like this badass now. And the way they, like, I don't know, like if the director tell him look at Point Break, the 1991
You
one
know.
with Keanu Reeves,
Yeah.
imitate Keanu Reeves, play
Right.
Johnny Utah, right? You are Johnny Utah. So he tries to do this Keanu Reeves kind of impersonation, like, yeah, tell me where to go. Leave me alone to do my job, man. So he talking tough. He trying to sound tough, but dude, you're still 1996 Leonardo DiCaprio. I can't buy into that. And
Yeah.
then even worse, you were the hero in this, right? You were the hero.
Yeah.
You were the character I'm supposed to
The screen
follow
presence was
yeah. I just wasn't feeling it at all. They could have gotten somebody a little bit more talented, a little bit more heroic, and the biggest comparison they'll make of this is like Chris Pratt from
right.
from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Yes, he's a comedian. He was in Parks and Recreation. Who they thought he'd be Star Lord, but apart from the humor, he also had the look. The man built himself up.
Yeah.
He looked like he could tell a joke, but also punch in your face. He had that look,
Right.
there. And he had the charisma. He had the charm. Here, I wasn't seeing the charm from Valerian. Laureline, or at least the character Laureline, played by Cara, she had a little bit, but then there was some moments where she gave some lines, man. Those lines
Yeah. Flat.
were flat.
Yeah.
Just the dialogue between the two were
No,
flat, but her lines in particular was just
I can't help but
so
think every
unbearably
time.
flat, boy. My God.
Yeah, hearing the dialogue, I can't help but think of John Carter.
Yeah,
Same
it was
kind of.
sad just seeing
Yeah.
her deliver those lines, but I was like, nah, you deserve better. For Suicide Squad and all this, come on, man, come on.
Yeah.
And then they try to force this romance. Like, I'm supposed to buy into the fact that Valerian does care for her, and he's gonna go out of his way to save her and all that kind of stuff. And that leads to one particular scene where she gets captured by these aliens that are fishing for other aliens or humans or wherever it is, and she gets captured, and now we're supposed to buy into the fact that Valerian must save her because he loves her so much.
Yeah.
And that leads into one particular sequence involving Ethan Hawke, who plays this kind of pimp character, and a person who I didn't even expect would have been in this movie. Wait for it,
So-
Rihanna, of all people.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And you're gonna laugh at this. She was actually the most interesting character in the whole movie.
Right. Yeah. The whole morphin thing I thought was kind of cool.
That was so incredibly cool.
It was.
And
it was.
what I like
It was
is that
too
there
inspired.
wasn't-
I've
there
seen
wasn't-
ideas
yeah.
like that before, but it's
Right.
cool.
But there wasn't like much backstory to her, and I wasn't expecting that. But because she had charm, because she had that sex appeal to her, like when she shows up and is this sort of shape shifting, you know, burlesque dance sequence that she does where she changes into different clothing and all that. I thought that was like probably one of the most standout scenes in the whole movie. But just her presence alone did so much more for that movie than Dean and Cara did. She
Yeah.
just
Yeah. She had some
presence.
workable charisma. I was.
Yeah,
I,
I was
kind of
surprised though.
nonplussed.
I
I was nonplussed
never.
about her, frankly. Mostly because
Well,
I
me
think-
too, because I remember Battleship and how
Right.
how wasted her talents were there. But
Right,
she
but I
surprised
thought
me in this.
Yeah, no, I thought her acting was kind of crappy, but the concept of a character was pretty decent.
Yeah, but the acting didn't really take off. Like there was some parts like
Right.
when she was in the alien character and she gave some lines and they kind of felt like they were read. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
hey, leave that alone. You know what I mean? It kind of comes like she's literally reading off of a script without putting some emotion into it, so you buy into it. But
Yeah.
still, when she was there, I thought that she was memorable. Like, if
Right.
if there's one character I remember from this, it'd be her. Believe it or not, and she's
Yeah.
barely in the movie. But yeah, even like right down to Clive Owen, who plays that well, he's the antagonist. That's all I'll say. He was kind of two-dimensional. You know what I mean? A
Yeah.
majority of these characters felt really basic, really two-dimensional. It's like, why should I care? And unfortunately, that's how I felt watching this movie. It's like, all right, they're giving us some great visuals. There's some
Yeah.
great, excellent visuals. The character designs of the aliens are inspired. Some of them are really cool. There's a few that I felt were kind of cartoonish. They took me out of it. But I was like, all right, it's Luc Besson. It's weird, whatnot. And I like how the movie it embraces its weirdness. It just keeps going. It's just non-stop weirdness and visual eye candy. But still, without a story for me to really get invested in and without characters for me to really care about, it just felt like just visuals and nothing more really. And if the
Right.
best thing, the most memorable thing out of your movie was Rihanna shape shifting into different like real sexy outfits, then yeah, your movie run into problems.
Right.
But what were your thoughts on Valerian? You
Yeah.
know,
Again,
sci-fi
uh,
buff that you are. What were your
you
thoughts
said
on it?
it's skewed for a younger audience. Like if I was much younger, I would have really enjoyed this. Because the arc is really straightforward, not that clever or anything like that. It's a classic science fiction, but again, you have to care about that. And it's one of those where it influenced, but it too much times pass after that.
Yeah,
Too much
as you
things.
mentioned that, you're right though, because the whole space station going to this planet, acquiring this object, even right down to a scene where they end up where Valerian and Laureline end up in a trash compactor or something so, or like a garbage dump. I was like,
Right.
yeah, but we've seen this before in Star Wars, duh.
Right. But the thing is, they invented it, so it's like whatever. Is that? Much like with John Carter, you see
Right,
a
but
lot of that.
doesn't make me love the film even more because they did it first. Because you're
Right.
right though, it's been done before hundreds of
Right.
times. So why?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And unfortunately, the whole thing is that it just a lot of it just fell flat. It wasn't bad, like necessarily the worst thing ever, but I could
no, no,
understand
no.
why it bombed. I could
Yeah,
totally understand why it bombed. Again, much like with John Carter, yeah, this fell flat, didn't really work. They kind of sequel tease in that film, but not in this film so much, which was smart as well. But it's not Lucas Von style. Um, but again, if you know, well, they're not gonna get a sequel because it did terribly.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I was largely nonplussed about this. I didn't hate it, but I don't love it either.
okay.
But I I should have seen it before now while it came out in theaters, so I'd be a little more hype and I probably would enjoy it more. But
Yeah,
because I was
or maybe I should, or maybe we should have seen it in 3D. Maybe we'd
or
appreciate it a
something,
little
right,
bit
right,
more. But
right,
yeah,
and that's it. So it's like unfortunate that the whole thing just fell apart and just fell. It's not as much of a hot mess as the Ant's last film, but still a mess. It's a lot
yeah,
of it do work. It just so basic overall. But our intro though,
yeah.
intro's great.
That intro is one for the
That intro is
ages.
great. So
But I'll say this much though before we get to rating. Just like Fifth Element though, I do see this movie having cult status over the years because there's
right,
just so much ideas and concepts
right,
in
right,
this one movie though that yeah, people are gonna look back and be like, this was actually way smarter than it could have been, or better than it was much smarter than we would have imagined it to be.
right.
But it just could have been so much better if there was a better written script. Not just better written, but just more focused though, instead of throwing all these crazy ideas, you know what I mean? But yeah, give your rating one time.
Right. Rating is just a straight up CC8. Straight CC8.
Alright.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a straight CC8. Nothing. It not that bad for me. I didn't hate it. But yeah, straight CC8.
Alright. I was going for 2.5, which was see it if you want to see it. But
Right.
because I see the effort, I see the imagination, I see what they were trying to go for, even though they kind of failed miserably. It's like this glorious failure in a way.
Right.
I would give this a light 3 out of 5 stars. It's
Yeah.
it's alright.
Right. That's a good analogy. It's a noble failure.
Yeah, noble failure. Right.
Right.
But like I
It's,
said before, I do see this having longevity in terms of like I do see it having a cult following over the years. If it's just off of these like really unique visuals alone, if that's the one reason, then yeah. I don't think it's gonna be as big a cult classic as Fifth Element. Especially with the time this came out to it. 'Cause this is, summer 2017, and we had Transformers, and we had all these other shows that just pretty much tower over Valerian. So this one kind of comes off as, hey guys, we just want to be with the big guys too. So give us
Yeah.
a little bly, but we don't care. This is like some kind of French import, but with some
Right.
American actors in it. But you know what? If you're curious, give it a look. And yeah, like I say, Rihanna did steal the show. If you want to see her do something a little bit different in terms of her career, yeah, give it a look. But other than that, just don't go in with high expectations. You may like it, you may not like it, but I see this one, like I say, being a cult classic over the years. But I just have a feeling it's gonna take way longer than it's gonna be much more of an uphill struggle to become that cult classic than Fifth Element did way back when.
Right.
That's all I have to say.